there is a silence hanging over the collective right now. Have you felt it? It is not the silence of peace. Not yet. It is the silence of a held breath. It is the heavy, static, charged air that comes right before the sky cracks open. You have been sensing a shift in the men around you, or perhaps in that one specific masculine presence you hold space for. You have noticed a withdrawal, a sudden, confusing retreat that defies logic. You look at 2026 and you feel the weight of a threshold. You are likely exhausted. You are the one who has done the reading, the healing, the clearing of ancestral lines. You are the holder of space. And yet, the external reality seems to be lagging behind your internal knowing. You are witnessing a paradox. The more you expand, the quieter he seems to become. Let us validate where you are standing right now. You are not imagining this distance. You are not crazy for feeling the disconnect. But what if I told you that this silence is not an ending? What if I told you that the distance you feel is not a rejection of you, but a necessary quarantine? The masculine psyche is currently undergoing the most violent, rapid, and profound recalibration in modern history. The structures of the old world, the definitions of what it meant to be a man, a provider, a protector, are dissolving. They are turning to dust. And in 2026, we are no longer just talking about change. We are living in the aftershock. He is not running from you. He is trying to survive the death of his old self. Welcome. Let us untangle the threads of this great recalibration. To understand the profound silence you are currently witnessing in the masculine collective, we must first look at the invisible architecture of the time we are living in. We often look at relationships through the lens of emotion or personality, but in 2026, we must look through the lens of energetics and history. For centuries, the masculine identity was constructed on the foundation of structure. It was built on the energy of the earth. It was solid, unyielding, and hierarchical. A man's value was determined almost exclusively by what he could build, what he could conquer, and how much weight he could carry without breaking. He was taught to be the mountain. He was the stone that does not move. But we have shifted eras. We have moved from a time of earth and structure into an era of air and frequency. We have entered the age of Aquarius, and the rules of engagement have fundamentally changed. This shift is catastrophic for the unawakened nervous system. The energy has moved from doing to knowing. It has moved from accumulating material wealth to cultivating energetic resonance. This is a language the old masculine does not yet speak. The man you are thinking of, the one whose silence feels like a weapon, is currently experiencing a total system failure. His internal operating system was designed for a world that no longer exists. He knows how to fight a visible enemy in the physical world. He knows how to build a house or a career, but he does not know how to navigate the quantum waters of deep emotional intimacy or telepathic connection. Psychologically, what you are interpreting as avoidance or rejection is actually a freeze response. It is a biological safety mechanism. Think of it in terms of technology. When a computer tries to run software that is far too advanced for its existing hardware, the machine does not run faster. It crashes. The screen goes black. It becomes unresponsive. This is not a malicious act by the computer. It is a limitation of the hardware. Right now, the collective feminine has upgraded. You have done the work. You are vibrating at a frequency of high transparency, high intuition, and absolute truth. You are running the most advanced spiritual software available. When you bring that intense, high-voltage energy near a man who is still clutching the crumbling bricks of his old identity, his nervous system gets overwhelmed. He shorts out. He pulls away, not because he does not love you, or because he does not feel the connection. He pulls away because your light is blinding to eyes that have adjusted to the dark. We see this manifesting in 2026 as a crisis of purpose. Men are realizing that their careers, their bank accounts, and their social standing are no longer shielding them from their internal emptiness. The armor is failing. The runner is a term often used in spiritual circles, but it is inaccurate and unhelpful. It implies he is actively moving away from you. He is not running, he is molting. Consider the biology of a snake. When a snake prepares to shed its skin, it does not bask in the sun. It becomes blind. Its eyes cloud over with a milky blue film. It becomes incredibly vulnerable and irritable. It is in pain. During this process, the snake hides under a rock. It goes into the dark. It does this not to punish the sun, but to survive the transition. If it were to stay in the open, it would be eaten. The masculine collective is currently under the rock. The silence you feel is the silence of the molt. He is shedding the skin of the provider, the conqueror, and the stoic. He is trying to birth a new skin that is sensitive enough to feel, yet strong enough to hold the frequency you offer. This process cannot be rushed. If you were to peel the skin off the snake before it is ready, you would wound it. You would interrupt the natural intelligence of the process. This is why the silence feels so heavy. It is not empty space. It is a chrysalis. He is deconstructing everything he thought he was because the old world has died, and he is trying to figure out how to be a man in the new one. He is not avoiding you. He is trying to survive the death of his old self so that he can eventually meet you as his new self. How do we move you out of the anxiety of waiting and into the power of understanding? To do this, we must fundamentally alter the way we view the purpose of union in the modern age. We must look at the concept of mirroring through a lens that is not clouded by romantic conditioning. For generations, we have been sold a story about relationships that is based on the idea of completion. We were told that we are half circles wandering the earth, seeking the other half to make us whole. This is the old paradigm. It is the paradigm of codependency and survival. But in the energy of 2026, this model has dissolved. We are no longer seeking completion. We are seeking catalysis. You are not a half circle. You are a complete universe. And when you bring your universe into contact with his, it does not create a seamless merger. It creates a collision. It creates a reaction. You are the catalyst. The pain you feel, the longing and the confusion is often a signal that you are still viewing the connection through the old lens. You are waiting for the external world to validate your internal worth. But the shift that is occurring is asking something different of you. The Great Masculine Recalibration is forcing men to move from a dynamic of power over to a dynamic of power with. For thousands of years, the masculine identity accessed power through dominance. Power was something you exerted over the land, over the tribe, and over the family. It was external. It was loud. Now, The frequency of the planet has shifted. The only way to access true power in this new era is through vulnerability. This is the shift to power with. For the masculine ego, this transition is terrifying. It feels like a death. It feels like a loss of control. When he approaches you, he does not just see a partner. He feels a demand for absolute honesty. He feels a demand for heart-centered presence. These are muscles he has never had to use. If he has not developed the internal strength to hold that weight, he collapses, he retreats. This is not because he is weak. It is because the voltage you are carrying requires a transformer that he is still building. He is realizing that the old model of provide and protect is obsolete. Providing money and physical safety is no longer enough to sustain a soul connection. The new model is connect and create. He is realizing that you do not need him to save you. You need him to meet you. This realization triggers a fundamental rewriting of his DNA. It is a psychological restructuring that takes time. It requires a gestation period. Consider the metamorphosis of the butterfly. Inside the chrysalis, the caterpillar literally dissolves. It turns into a genetic soup before it reassembles into a butterfly. It is a messy, chaotic process. If you were to come along and cut open the chrysalis to help the butterfly emerge faster, you would not be helping it. You would be killing it. The struggle to break through the walls of the cocoon is the very thing that forces the fluid into the wings. Without that struggle, the wings never form. The butterfly emerges, but it cannot fly. It crawls, and it dies. Your silence, your stepping back, and your refusal to chase are the greatest gifts you can give him. By not intervening, you are allowing him the dignity of his struggle. You are allowing him to form his wings. The paradigm shift you must integrate is this. His distance is not an absence of love. It is the preparation for it. He is calibrating to a voltage that matches yours. He is in the dark room developing the film. If you open the door too early to check if the picture is ready, you expose the film to light and destroy the image. You must trust the dark room. You must trust the process of recalibration. He is not running from the connection, he is evolving so that he can finally sustain it. Understanding the philosophy of this shift is one thing, but living it when you are alone on a quiet Tuesday night is entirely another. It is easy to understand the concept of recalibration intellectually, yet it is incredibly difficult to embody it when your heart is aching for connection. How do you navigate this space? How do you exist in the energy of 2026 without losing your mind or closing your heart in self-defense? We must move from theory into practice. We must look at the specific internal mechanics of how you hold your energy. There are 3 specific internal shifts or mental moves that you can make starting today to align yourself with this new reality. The first shift is the decentering of the narrative. You must stop making him the main character of your spiritual movie. Far too often, the anxious heart defines her progress solely by his proximity. You look at your phone, and if there is a text, you feel worthy. If there is silence, you feel you are failing. This is a trap of the ego. You must take the camera off of him and turn it back on yourself. When you center your emotional stability around his behavior, you are actually leaking energy. You are sending a frequency of lack and desperation toward him. In the quantum field, the energy of lack creates resistance. It pushes the very thing you want away. You must recalibrate your gravity. Think of the solar system. You are the sun, and he is a planet in orbit. The sun does not chase the planet to ask if it is still there. The sun simply burns. It emits its own gravity. It is the planet's job to navigate the orbit. If you move toward him, you disrupt the gravitational pull that draws him in. You must stand still in your own light. The second shift requires moving from the energy of the hunter to the energy of the gardener. The unawakened masculine is terrified of expectation. He feels your silent demands for a title, a commitment, or a plan as a distinct pressure. It feels like a cage to a man who is already fighting his own internal wars. The hunter is anxious. The hunter needs to capture something to feel safe. The gardener, however, operates differently. The gardener prepares the soil. The gardener waters the ground. But the gardener knows she cannot pull the flower up by its petals to make it grow faster. Your only job in 2026 is to tend to your own garden. Make your life so rich, so textured, and so visually and spiritually stunning that he cannot help but peek over the fence. He needs to see that you are whole without him. That is what signals safety to his nervous system. When he realizes you do not need him to survive, he will feel safe enough to want to build with you. The third and most difficult shift is trusting the void. You must make friends with the silence. In our hyper-connected world, we have been conditioned to interpret silence as abandonment. We panic when the noise stops. But in the language of the soul, silence is where the integration happens. When he goes quiet, do not fill that space with texts. Do not fill it with anxiety. Do not fill it with psychic checking. Visualize a bridge. He is walking across it, through a thick fog, toward you. If you run onto the bridge to find him, you might spook him, or worse, cause the bridge to sway and break. You must trust the void. The void is not empty. It is pregnant with potential. It is in the silence that he hears his own conscience. It is in the absence of your voice that he finally begins to miss it. By holding your ground, you create the necessary vacuum that draws him forward. This is not a game. This is physics. You are the anchor, and the anchor holds the ship not by chasing the waves, but by sinking deep into the truth of the ground. The year 2026 is not a year of destruction. It is a year of revelation. The masks are coming off. The armor is becoming too heavy to wear. The masculine collective is being asked to put down the sword and pick up the lantern. This is a terrifying transition for him, but it is necessary. The relationships of the future, the relationships you are calling in, cannot be built on the old foundations of transaction and survival. They must be built on the new foundations of transparency and resonance. He is changing. He is evolving. The recalibration is messy, yes. It is confusing, yes. But the version of him that is emerging on the other side of this shift is the version that can finally meet you in the depths. So, take a breath. Release your grip on the timeline. You have done the work. You have held the light. Now, let the gravity of your own soul do the rest. The shift is here, and you are ready for it. If this message found you at the right moment, and if you wish to continue exploring the architecture of the soul with us, I invite you to subscribe. Like the video to help signal the algorithm, so this message finds the others who are waiting for it. Until next time, walk in your power.